Yesterday, we told you about Canada and India each removing the other's senior diplomats in tit-for-tat expulsions. Well, the move comes as Canada and India are embroiled in a dispute following the assassination of prominent Sikh activist Hardeep Singh Nijjar outside a Sikh temple in Vancouver last year. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has previously claimed that officials had credible evidence the Indian government was involved in the murder. And police in Canada have accused Indian agents of involvement in homicides and violent acts. India has rejected Canada's allegations. For more on this, I'm joined by Global News Ottawa Bureau Chief Mercedes Stephenson. This sounds complicated. It's intriguing. Help us understand what officials in Canada claim specifically that the Indian government is doing.
This really came out, Errol, in a stunning press conference on what was in Canada our Thanksgiving Monday. And it was completely unexpected that something this broad and significant would be announced. What the Royal Canadian Mounted Police came out and said is that they had evidence that the Indian government and Indian government agents who were in Canada essentially posing as diplomats under diplomatic cover were involved in spying on people in Canada, feeding that information back to the Modi government in India about people who were adversaries of that particular regime, and that in some cases the Indian government was then subcontracting hits, murder for hire, shoot-ups of people's homes, drive-by shootings, arson, all kinds of really stunning and violent acts that they allege were being directed by the Indian government through a well-known organized crime group operating out of India that also operates here in Canada called the Bishnoi Group. So this really stunned a lot of people here in Canada, and I can tell you that Global News learned yesterday that this is alleged to go to the highest levels of the Indian government, including a man named Amit Shah. He is Prime Minister Narendra Modi of India's right-hand man, and he's the Home Secretary who is in charge of internal security for India. So you can imagine that this brings a whole new level to the severity of the allegations.
That's right. And with each expelling the other's diplomats, this could have long-reaching implications. You wonder where this goes from here. How is India responding to what are very serious claims?
Well, they are outraged. They say that there is no evidence for this, that they believe that the Trudeau government is essentially trying to play vote block politics. They say that they do not engage in these sort of activities. On the other hand, I'm hearing from police here that they are shocked that a Democratic ally will be conducting these kinds of operations on Canadian soil, that this is a national security investigation separate from politics that came about as a result of a homicide investigation that then started to develop more and more layers, and that there's further complications here because Indian and Canadian intelligence have cooperated in the past. And of course, there's a tremendous person-to-person connection between India and Canada, not to mention business. And now all of that is very complicated, and it's not clear how this is going to go forward, especially if it's going that high up into the Modi government and not simply, a couple of rogue agents who took things into their own hands.
All right, Mercedes Stephenson, we appreciate you waking up with us. We'll check in with you as this continues to unfold. Thanks for your time.